looks super dope, by the way.
Oh, I'm actually very glad. I was like worried we would have to reschedule again because the fucking fire alarm was going off in here for 20 minutes. And my boyfriend and I were just sitting here and we're like, we can't smell smoke. We're not packing up 4 cats and taking them downstairs because the firemen were downstairs and they were just wandering around, and we were like, but yeah, it was going off for 20 minutes and I was just sitting here, please finish before I start this podcast.
My wife, right before we were about to get started, she came in and she goes, "Oh, I'm just going to do some vacuuming in your room." I was like, "I'm doing a podcast?" She's like, "Okay, I'll just go to the gym." So.
Nice.
Today we have a superstar on the show, model, influencer extraordinaire, Laura Lux. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I know it's New Year's Eve, but no crazy plans for the afternoon?
No, my boyfriend and I are staying at home.
For those of you that out there that don't know Laura, who are you?
So I am an Australian living in Texas. If you are from Australia, you might be familiar with an old magazine called Zoo Weekly. I used to be a Zoo Weekly cover girl columnist. I had a sex advice column that I wrote for them. I was Penthouse Pet of the Year in Australia. I was an internationally touring DJ. Somehow I have ended up in Austin, and now I just do OnlyFans.
There's a lot to unpack there. But whereabouts in Australia are you from?
I'm actually from the Flinders Ranges, which is about 4 or 5 hours north of Adelaide.
Absolutely. I spent the first half of my life in Australia, and I have absolutely no sense of geography. But from what I know, it's a pretty beautiful region.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The town I spent most of my childhood in had a population of 50 people. So it was very rural. Kangaroos hopping down the main street. I was literally the stereotype. So
do you tell people stories of like being a kangaroo wrangler or anything back in the country?
I've definitely convinced some Americans that we used to ride kangaroos to school. So
I tell people that I used to have one in my garage, and when I outgrew that, when we had to get a big one to take me to school. But yeah, they're fun stories.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been in the US for?
I moved here in July 2015.
What brought you here? Was it just like more employment opportunities with what you do? Like obviously being an entrepreneur and being so well known as yourself, obviously the possibilities are endless here.
Yeah, it was when I first moved here, I was still DJing full time. That was what I really wanted to focus on. I actually really wanted to. So I was like living in Melbourne then, and I was coming over to LA to visit like fucking 5 times a year. And I'd made all these friends in the gay scene. I had all these gay guy friends, and I wanted to DJ in the gay clubs. That was my thing. I was like, I want to be a West Hollywood gay bar DJ. So I came over here with that dream and did that for a while, but didn't love it as much as I thought I would. So ended up going back into the straight scene DJing. So yeah, it was just to do music stuff.
Obviously, the transition from everything and everyone that you know in Australia to moving to the US, how did that affect your mental health? Was that an easy transition for you?
It was definitely tough. I've always told people if I didn't have the support system that I had in LA, I never would have survived there. Because I had, like I said, I was coming over to visit so often, and I had so many friends. I had such an extensive network of friends who were so great and so willing to help me. I slept on an inflatable mattress in one of my friends' living rooms for the first couple of months while I had to get my shit together. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't have been able to handle it without that huge support network, which I'm so grateful for. And financially, it was really difficult as well. I think